Hello, and welcome to the Surplus Geek podcast. I'm Jake, and today I figured I would do a kind of an update on the channel, with this being the last episode of 2022, and honestly, with 2022 is basically over by the time this gets uploaded. So I figured I'd do an update, and then afterwards I'll do the Q&A I asked questions for a week and a half ago. This episode is a little delayed. It was supposed to be out last weekend, Christmas weekend, but I got sick last week and it completely destroyed all my plans. So I apologize for this taking so long. With that being said, I want to do like kind of a little bit of a plan of what next year is going to be like, and the first thing I'll say is that I want to do kind of a 2 week vacation from creating content in January, just to kind of get things. And I'm actually not going to take a vacation from creating content. I'm just not going to upload it. I kind of want to get ahead of the game here and have a couple of probably like I want to try to get at least 5 or 6 60 seconds or less done, so that way I can just have them and I can keep working on other things. I also want to start working on more mid-length content, like 10, 15, 20-minute videos. I have a ton. I've already come up with a list of what I want to try to aim for this year, and it's in it like I have more than what I need, which is always good, but the plan is kind of maybe every other week, every 2 week kind of plan, kind of like how to do the podcast episodes, and then on the off week will be the podcast episode. So that's kind of the plan with that. We'll see how that pans out. I'm gonna try to hold myself to it, try to get myself into a schedule and stick to it. But with life and work and all that stuff, you never know. With the podcast, I will try to get the first episode of season 3, up by the end of January, early February. I have a ton of guests in mind. There's a ton of people I still have to message to tell them when I'm having them on. There's a few people I have to try to convince to have on, and there's a few people who already know I'm having on. So I have at least a good bit to get me going. I want to do more. Obviously, I want to continue doing the webcam kind of over the internet podcast episode. I want to do seated though in the room, face to face podcast, interview style, as well. I want to get that going. So that is something that I'm going to try to push for and make happen. But it's all about people's schedules and getting guests, and the biggest issue I've had last year with the podcast, one of the reasons why I kind of just died, is I had multiple people say yes and then ghost me, and then just never got back. I just never got anything from them. And I'm not going to sit here and pester people forever because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. It's fine, but it'd be nice to just have a solid no. So hopefully this year I can get a little bit more yes and actually showing up, and that way I can deliver on podcast episodes for you guys, and um, it won't be just huge. I start off with a nice push for, and then I just run out of gas. Now that the space, my studio is created, it is done being built, and it is the space is renovated and it's good to go, and I have the back set, the background set up, and the room's slowly starting to get together. I finally got some more posters set up. I got more posters I want to put up. There's more things. There's shelving units, but I'm getting there. It definitely is helping with being able to get more content. I'm able to get way more things done now that I have a dedicated space. I'm not as cramped. I'm still already running out of room because I have way too much stuff, but it is what it is. So that's pretty much kind of the gist of it. That's the update. It's really just me trying. I want to try to get consistent on the 6 seconds or less videos. I want to try to get consistent on the podcast, and I also want to start doing more videos. I've already, like I said, I already have tons of ideas that I want to hit. So we'll see if I can hit some of them, and then go from there basically, and just see how it goes. Um, but yeah, with that being said, I guess we'll just get right into the Q&A, because there's not gonna be that long of a podcast episode. Um, it is gonna probably be on the shorter side of things, and there's not much I can do about that. Um, so I apologize if anyone expected this to be a little bit on the longer side. So with the Q&A, and I am kind of doing this on the fly, so if you just heard a mouse clicking, it's because I realized I forgot something and had to bring it up real quick. This is very impromptu because, like I said, I was sick. I'm behind. I'm still a little sick. I still have a little bit of a sore throat. Um, and you know, so I just want to get this out there and stuff before the year ends because it's kind of pointless for it to be the last episode of the year. So all right. So first two questions are from Yankee Military Bailey, uh, good friend of mine. The first one is who's the guest? Obviously, it's always going to be Manny. Manny's in the back there. And then his second question is would you go to in-person events, gun shows, military shows, etc.? Oh yeah, for sure. It really just comes down to time and really just time. Do I have the time to do it is the question. I work a night schedule too, so going to an early event on a Saturday is kind of hard to do when I'm getting home, late, and then and whatnot. So we'll see. I'd love to do more of that stuff. I'd love to do more stuff. I'd love to go more places in general. There's a lot of stuff on my list, a lot of places on my list. I'd love to go to like back to the infantry museum. I haven't been there since basic, and there's some other places I'd love to go, and those are definitely future plans. So that's definitely high on the list. Second question is from Commissar. Um, they say I have an ANA Knock 91 and VSR 93 pattern, and I have no idea how to identify production info. Any ideas? Honestly, no. Russian stuff is completely out of my ballpark. I don't really know a lot about Russian stuff. My best guess is just to Google, try to find Reddit, try to find people talking about it, try to find forums. It's a little bit harder than say U.S. stuff because U.S. you have like the U.S. military forum, and that's a great resource. So try to find something along that lines. Anyone has any suggestions on that? Drop it in the comments, and hopefully, someone can be helpful. But I unfortunately, my wheelhouse is U.S. military, and even then, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that researches some stuff. I have more of a scratch the surface than deep understanding of stuff. So I unfortunately, there's too much that I cover that I can't go super deep. And I eventually would like to get into um, other nations' equipment, and I know a little bit about a few different nations, but like I'd love to get more into it. Again, British is probably my next focus. Maybe French. I kind of like French gear. I'm starting to really appreciate French, like 90s specifically gear. Um, the I think that might be something I go towards, but Russian gear, I know a little bit, but not enough. So I'm sorry I can't be any more used in that question. All right, next question is Random Rice Farmer, who's a great guy on Instagram. Go check him out. His question is favorite gas mask or most comfortable gas mask to wear for an extended period of time. Yeah, favorite gas mask is obvious M40. I mean, it's the logo. Um, it's my first piece of surplus that I owned was an M40, and I still have it, and that by far a favorite mask, easily. I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable. The M50 is the most comfortable to wear for extended period of times. I don't get bothered by wearing the M50 for extended period of time. I only wore it briefly in my time. We got our M50s right as like the last year that I was in, and we basically didn't take them out of the box when I was there. I did get to train with them. We went to the range once. We did a little bit of range time with them, but I don't have a lot of time in the M50. But just wearing it around and just messing around with it and stuff, I find the M50 to be like very comfortable. It doesn't bother me at all. Wearing masks in general, they don't bother me that much. Um, I can wear them, even uncomfortable masks don't bother me as much as probably other people. I just have that perfect medium face, I guess, where as long as the fits, I'm pretty much good. But even like if it doesn't fit, like I wear a small M17 sometimes, and that doesn't fit me perfectly, but it gets a seal, but it's not a perfect fit in terms of my shape of my face, and I can wear it for a while. It does hurt after a while, but I don't know, it doesn't really bother me. But I wanted to add on to this question because I think it's a great question because it's add on to it as in least favorite plus least favorite to wear. Um, my least favorite mask, that one, I don't really think I have a least favorite. I don't generally have a problem with any mask specifically that I can think of. There's probably one out there, and I'm probably going to hate myself afterwards when I realize, oh, I missed one. I guess in terms of looks, I don't have a problem with it. That's why I don't want to say it's my least favorite. But the Scott Pro Mask series of of mass, like all the different variations. Not a fan. I had to use them. That's the mask that I actually have the most time in, time wearing in the service. Oddly enough, because we got issued them part of CASE, which is a part of the Homeland Response Force, HERF, the HERF, um, which is the CASE is like the support element for the civil support teams, which are then a part of the HERF. So in my time in that, we got issued Scott Pro Mass, and not a fan. Not a fan at all. I'm pretty sure they're a 5 point head harness. They are uncomfortable to wear. I always get a headache while wearing them. I don't know why. And that's wearing them with a papper. So I'm getting a nice, cool, blown air in my face. It feels nice, except for when your buddy turns it off on you because you're not paying attention. But I did not enjoy those masks. I just was not a fan. I mean, they look fine. They have they other than the 5 point head harness, if I'm correct about that, they meet all the like criterion that you would think of. But for some reason, oh, and the drinking tube is just like in the back of your throat. I didn't enjoy that part of it either. Um, but yeah, that's definitely my least favorite mask to wear, and I'm not a fan of it because just something about it just was uncomfortable. And again, I generally most masks I can put on, I can wear for a while. That one for some reason just got to me. Um, so I hope that'll answer your question, and then I added on to it to make it a little bit longer. The next question is Latvian Militaria 1941. Do you have a Militaria item that you irrationally hate? No, not an item specifically. I wouldn't even say I irrationally hate the thing that I'm going to say, but I will say that I am not a, and this is going to, I think most people that collect are going to be fine with this, but I think some people are going to not like this. I don't like, I have a problem with mirror safety like most collectors do. Um, do I hate the OM90 or CM7M or their CM6M, which is kind of their Scott Pro mask in a sense? No, I don't think the OM90 is bad. I think it's decent for a mask that is from the early 90s. I think it's outdated at this point. I haven't got my hands on the OM 2020 or the CM8M. But I just don't. I'm planning on doing a video on this because it's a deeper topic and I think there's more to it. I don't know, don't like the way they treat collectors. Not a fan of how they do their gas mask guide, all that stuff. It's just one of those things where it rubs you the wrong way and stuff. And they could do better. They really could. They really. I'm not really sure why they took on the collector community like they did. Not to say the collector community is perfect, but the comments about being basement dwellers and stuff, and I revel in that. I like that because it's like I am in my basement, the basement that I own, the basement that I renovated myself. So if you want to say I'm in the basement, hey, you know what? I take that as a compliment because I made this place. So I don't know, it's stuff like that. That's why I want to do a video on it because I think there's a longer topic there, or a longer thing to discuss and stuff. It's a bigger topic than just that. And again, it's not that I hate the products per se. I just don't like the attitude, I guess. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, maybe they'll improve. Maybe whatever. It is what it is. All right, moving on. My name is Denmark. Asks, I have a Pasget vest or flak jacket, and I was thinking about selling it. How much should I sell it for? I would go to eBay, look at what other ones are selling for. Right now, they're roughly in the $100-ish bucks range for a decent quality one, depending on depending on the production date. Make sure you look at the production date. If it's early, late, mid, if it's kind of one of those pre IOC like kind of initial operating capacity, like 1982 or 81, where they're issuing them out for testing purposes, but they're not like a prototype, but they're kind of in that weird in between. I would say somewhere in that ballpark though, 100 ish bucks. I mean, again, look at eBay and judge based on the quality of your Pasget vest and how much you should sell it based on that. And I think that's a good rule of thumb. We got two more questions left. Pedro Ortiz 241, history of the chemical core and how it developed over the years and its achievements. Now, this is one that I cannot answer in just a podcast or in a Q&A podcast. So I think I already wrote this down. It's going to be its own episode. It's going to require a lot of research and a lot more research than I normally do. I'm probably I already talked to Bailey about this, and I want him to help me. So he's gonna hopefully help me with that. Hopefully, and this is me kind of pushing him a little bit on it, because I think that would be a good thing to do a whole thing on and stuff. And it's giving me some ideas in some other videos. So that's gonna be. So I'm sorry I can't answer it in this. It's just it's too long of a topic. I just I mean I could gloss over it real quick, but I feel like it deserves its own video. So I will probably do a video on that in the future at some point. And for the last question of this Q&A is from Based in Nodpilled. And no, go figure, his question is opinion on the PVS-7. I never got to use PVS-7s. I only touched PVS-14s. So I have no opinion on the PVS-7 other than the fact that it's something that I would love to own a PVS-7. And that's definitely on the list, but we'll see how long it takes that to happen. But that is something I would say I would be interested in getting my hands on, but I can't have an opinion. I have never had any time about it behind it. Personally, from a end user perspective, from someone who's used them in training events, only in training, not a big fan of nods. I don't enjoy the neck pain as much as some other people might. I'm different from most people. I'm not the biggest fan. I think night vision's awesome. I just don't enjoy using it in the professional sense. So I would say I'd love to own nods, but not exactly a huge fan of them. So I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, PVS-5s would be cool. I really would like to own some PVS-5s. That would be top notch. But so that's all the questions for the Q&A. Like I said, this isn't a long video. It's like 15, 16 minutes long, or long podcast episode, really. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to get it done. I wanted to do that little update. And I'm hoping that, as time goes on, I'm able to get more videos out, more content, and just keep hitting it and stuff. I might do a few more of these trendy reels, but I'm gonna try to stick away. I don't know how you guys feel. You guys tell me how you feel about those. I just did that last one because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like an end of the year thing. I kind of liked it, the idea of it and stuff, and I threw it out there. It actually got pretty good reaction, so I'll probably consider doing that in the future, but I'm gonna keep that to a limit. I'm gonna stick to the 60 seconds or less. I have some other short reel style content ideas that I do want to work on, but we'll see if I can iron out the concepts on those. So with that, I think that's as much as I can do. I'm going to lose my voice soon. I've been losing my voice for the last week, and you know what? Hopefully, 2023 is going to be an even better year. I'm hoping I can continue to bring some content to everyone, and Happy New Year.